Good morning. Welcome again to Morning Devotions, and thank you again so much for our time together. I don't even know where to begin in our passage today in Philippians chapter 3. It is completely overflowing. But allow me to throw a couple of leadership principles at you. Paul says, beginning in verse 1, "Finally, my brothers, rejoice in the Lord. It is no trouble for me to write the same things to you again, as it is a safeguard to you." It's not a problem to repeat yourself. Sometimes with people, the more often you say it, the safer they are. Watch out for those dogs, those men who do evil, those mutilators of the flesh. For it is we who are the circumcision, we who worship by the Spirit of God, who glory in Christ Jesus. Now, Paul takes some very strong positions. As a leader, Paul was not politically correct, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Paul would stand up and tell people, stay away from preachers like that. In fact, he even called those people dogs. But now if you go on down a little farther, in verse 17 he said, "Join with others in following my example, brothers, and take note of those who live according to the pattern we gave you. For as I have often told you before," here's the repetition again, as well as the non-politically correct speech. "As I have often told you before, and now say again, even with tears, many live as enemies of the cross of Christ. Their destiny is destruction, their God is their stomach, and their glory is in their shame. Their mind is on earthly things." Paul said, listen, Christians, you got to understand there's a bunch of people out there that claim to be preachers of the gospel, but they're dogs. But they're actually enemies of the cross. He said, now the way you tell the difference is look at people who are following the pattern of life that I laid down. Follow the pattern of life that I laid down. I had one of our old-time members come to see me just a couple of months ago, and they'd been to another city, and this person claimed to be my son in the faith. And this sweet little old lady looked at me and she said, "But Pastor, he doesn't live like you live, so I know not to listen to him." And I sat back and I laughed out loud because she was so sweet with what she said. But when she walked out of the room, I thought, God, thank you. Thank you for the wisdom of this woman that she was not taken advantage of by someone who claimed to be my son. Brothers and sisters, we have to back up in life and recognize there's a lot of people out there claiming to preach the word. Some of them are dogs. Some of them are enemies of the cross. Go take a look at who lives the life that Paul lived.